dance, I attacking from the back of them. I ram it, them, I jabbing them, I stabbing them. My pelvis massaging them. I give it down massive up to them.
Anyhow, before we do all that stuff, and we talked to Juliette about sex and passionately talking about sex and all that wonderful stuff. As usual, we here in Good Life, it looks slightly different. And here a bit loungier now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about
But not loungier.
Nice.
It's a lounge now.
It's a lounge now. It's a lounge now.
That's my favorite chair, but Matthew stole it.
I apologize.
Good Life, sponsored always. They got some merchandise and stuff going on. Yeah. So we talked to Juliette about
about sexuality, gender equality, and her passion, her activism for those two causes.
What do you want to know?
Well, my thing is, okay, my thing mostly, I wanted more go and talk about the gender equality thing because I find that it's such a very gentle issue into our society, especially that we are in a very patriarchal society. And I think gender equality, I'm very gentle in my statements when I say this, it does not exist. Because we don't have proper conversation in the area, in my opinion. I think that by the time when a woman wants to give her view, there are a lot of defensive men despite ages. Then when men want to give their view on the same topic, there are also defensive women, and it causes a whole couple of catastrophic scenarios, and nobody's not listening to each other for us to actually have solid equality. It may sound like a negative statement when I say it, but you can see it happening in front of us, if you want something.
Unfortunately, there are aspects of what you're saying that I agree with. I do believe that there isn't equality. There's still, whether it's violence against women, whether it's equal pay, there's still ways in which women can advance to be more, let's say, equal to men.
Right.
Are men and women the same? No, not necessarily. We do have biological differences and such, but it doesn't mean that we can't, like a man can't be a caregiver, for example, which is a big contention. Or that women can't take on, let's say, roles in construction or whichever, you know? I think that the generalizations that we place on being born male or female can be prohibitive. They are prohibitive. And as a result, you know, you're seeing these inequalities that then kind of take rippling effects depending on your social status, or where you're born, all of these things.
Right, yeah. But I also want to work on something that you just mentioned because sometimes I feel, especially as a Caribbean male, you're more, I don't know what it's like, well, we see images of what it's like to be an American black male or an African black male, but there are not a lot of images out there of black Caribbean males, or Caribbean males on the whole. And I think sometimes we are pressured into a construct that is being masculine, that is so dated, whilst our women are really finding what is the new Caribbean woman.
I think that I will disagree with you on that point, because I do think that there are lots of images on what it means to be a man, what it means to be a Caribbean man. You just need to watch music videos. You just need to music about, you know, what is.
Yeah, but those music videos, I find those music videos tend to like almost copycat a certain image that is not always real.
But you have that problem in any entertainment thing. So,
yeah.
But the underlying thing part, if you take out the music videos, if you just listen to these song lyrics and all that sort of stuff, and just genuine, general Caribbean male projections, it's there. I mean, it's nothing hidden. It's very.
No, I agree. But I still
what
think
is to be a Caribbean man is actually quite. That's there. Everybody knows that.
I can't say everybody knows that, you know.
But they do. I mean, everybody knows about the village round. I mean, that's nothing unknown.
Right.
Even the younger
Carson,
generations.
you know one thing that we're going into, like, that we're seeing, here, first thing that you just said, the village round. We're being told of the negative images more than anything else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but you said that there's no image of the Caribbean man. I'm saying it's
right.
there.
Okay.
And the Caribbean man knows how he's supposed to act.
Right.
So, for example, for 4 Caribbean men will sit down in the back of the ZR, but 3 Caribbean will not sit down in front.
Right.
You understand? A woman is always going to sit down in the middle.
Exactly.
In a up seat.
Correct.
Which is strange because 4 will sit comfortably in the back. You understand? So Caribbean men not only have images, but they know how they're supposed to behave. So I mean, there's no loss, there's no lack of a Caribbean male image.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have things like the block. You have these spaces that are painted in a negative light, but could be very positive.
Right.
If done right, if for lack of a better term.
There's not a lot of image.
But what about, okay,
you may want to reshape it, but it's there.
Yeah,
Alright, right.
Definitely.
Maybe what I'm trying to say is that we tend to almost also focus on a certain demographic of Caribbean man. Because the images that we're talking about seem more like lower middle class, ghetto culture. Which is okay, which is fun because therefore we established that. But what about the growing, or well, right now the extension of our is middle class black man or Caribbean man?
I will say this. In terms of organization, you will get something like a MISA. You know what I mean? Which tends to kind of attract an older man,
Really
certain
singing
type
here.
of and unfortunately even some of the research that I've been involved in when I'm thinking about it, I wonder like where do guys go other than the blog? Why are they not organizing themselves? Or is it that we live in such a patriarchal society that they don't feel the need to?
Right, there's no
Perhaps.
need to.
You know, unless it's around a particular cause, whether it's the marijuana movement or whether it is like
it would be hard to galvanize.
It
would be hard to galvanize men in such a way because for probably the same reason that you don't see much like or let's look at America, you don't see much white power movements. And when you see a white power movement then it's a negative thing. For obvious reasons. But it's for the same reason people attack MISA as hard as they do. And just men's rights in general. Because they're coming from a position of privilege. Even though it's a bit more nuanced than that. But they're still coming from a position of privilege. So there's no need for them to galvanize or it's not seen that they need to galvanize because everything's already set for them.
Well, what do you think? I mean, y'all are men in the Barbadian society. What do you think about it? Why wouldn't you join a MISA, for example? And would you join a men's organization? I mean, that's the best question to throw there to you.
You may have different opinions, but go ahead.
I wouldn't join MISA because I'm not a fan of MISA. Personally, I wouldn't join, right now I would not join a men's organization, partly because I think that first and foremost the work of feminists and women, and well, equality movements, they actually address a lot of the issues within masculinity. So, because by correcting any injustice, you start to shift the balance of power and everything. So you start to take a lot of the burden off of the people that were in privileged positions anyways. So equal rights for ladies starts to then erode hyper-masculinity and the super sexual male identity because you no longer have to exert your masculinity that much. So a lot of the issues that arise out of that will start to erode and start to disappear when the equality movement gets a better footing and we start to go down that avenue a bit more because men no longer have, because I mean then you just go sit down in front of the freaking ZR. You understand? You don't have to worry about that.
That's not an issue to bring.
You understand? So you no longer have to exert this super masculinity because then you'll be able to sit down and talk more openly about feelings because that's what men will talk about, right? So when you start to bring everything to the people level and not just man and woman, then it starts to equal up. So I think one of the main problems with things like same white power movement and then like men's rights, it seems almost to be not just, it doesn't seem to be, a lot of people don't see them as genuinely looking out for the rights of men. It's more of a defensive thing against feminist movement, and that's a problem.
I have to definitely agree with that. me personally, I'm not a fan of separatist movements. And I don't think I would want to be a part of MISA because MISA, as I alluded to before, generally has a lot of patriarchal images, and those older men have their lives set up in such a way, right, that they've, as you said, made it. Right? This newer crop of young men like myself and Mrs. Strange Raphael here that are the under 35s that are still trying to define themselves in a different way from them. We don't see things like they see things. They're still seeing things in a little bit archaic model. In terms of when I join a men's organization, it depends on what kind of organization that is. If we're talking about mentorship for young men who need a positive male influence, yeah, I would do that.
Therapy.
Right. Therapy, yeah, why not? I would do that. You know what I mean? But I don't think it has to be a group that would find themselves against feminism or aspects of feminism. I think, as I said before, it should be a group of trying to balance things and have a more neutral conversation amongst the genders to figure out how we do live in this space together without trying to blame each other. Because that's the first thing that we do all the time. We blame each other, understand how different we are, understand
What we bring to the table.
What we bring to the table.
What our challenges are, what our weaknesses are.
You can't expect me to do certain things. I can't expect you to do certain things, and I have to expect you to do certain things, and vice versa, and whatnot.
But I have a question again, because particularly the feminist movement, I believe in, but I don't think it's a homogeneous movement by any stretch of the imagination. But from my understanding, there are many men out there that see. Like when I say that I'm a feminist, most people look at me, women included, and they're like, well, but why? Do you hate men? And I'm like, well, why does feminism
Because there are certain women that make feminists look bad, and they call themselves feminists.
So my question is this, what is it within the two of you, right, that's changed your perspective from what I see to be, quite a prominent perspective amongst people that the feminist movement is anti-women? I certainly know that it's not. Right, as you had rightly said, if you're choosing to address inequalities, then by virtue is benefiting both sexes. So what was it in your experiences that made you kind of rethink that approach?
I think it's up to, like I said before, I told you, there are certain women that kind of that call themselves feminists, that make other feminists look bad. I think first and foremost, Juliette will have to define what you see what is a feminist. What is feminism? Define your fight for feminism, because a lot of women out there that call themselves feminists do act as if man is the scourge of the earth. Alright?
I wouldn't say a lot. There are groups of women that may come across like that. There are other groups.
Right.
Like me, I see feminism as a way of addressing inequalities. Right? Because we understand what kind of society we work in, we understand where we come from.
Right.
And the movement that has taken place to say, look, as a person born as a woman, why can't I have a job? Why can't I lead an organization? Why do I have to always be vulnerable? Why can't we in the society ensure that both men and women are able to live their full potential?
And that's great.
And that's it.
I like that. But I think, again, there are women that give it such a negative connotation of what being a feminist is. More and more I'm seeing women like you who have that same definition, and then I meet women like you who have those same passion but don't call themselves feminists as well too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's like
so that's what I'm saying, it's up to the individual, it's how they
perceive themselves
and how they define
and
the
how
word
they understand
feminism.
it. How they understand the movement. I mean, for me, I think the shift occurred when I did the what they call now the Summer Institute for Gender Development. I would say that course, it was the course suggests about 6 weeks over the summer, and they just kind of got down and dirty with everything from education to man and woman relationship to. I remember we were watching a video of Pastor one day saying, you know, like, okay, what do we think about this? What's the good, what's the bad? And really sat down and dissected and opened up life, right? We saw ourselves as human beings because we were and that just changed my perspective.
I ain't gonna stand up like no fool when she line up, but she hand up on my tool. Well, my man, I cut up 2 and 2. She easing, I'm feeling it up, teasing, I'm squeezing it.